for India. That's the Modi government's vision to attract and expand foreign and domestic investors to set shop in the country. And the Make in India Week is the government's way of showcasing not just what the government has to offer, but also what individual states have to offer to investors to make in India. Hello and welcome. I'm Kritika Saxena. Our team at CNBC TV 18 has been busy getting you all exclusive interviews of big corporates and government officials at the Make in India Week. Take a look. Here at the Make in India Summit, you've been bullish about the India story since many years now. Tell me, how has the Make in India vision progressed in the last 1 year? What more needs to be done according to you? And how important is it for Cisco's larger game plan?
So if you watch what is occurring in India, when we said 2 years ago we're doubling down on India, it will be the top emerging country, many people hesitated. Yet I think we all realize that is exactly what has happened. India's GDP is probably growing at 7%. You have a leader in Prime Minister Modi who understands the future of a digital country, and he's driving it through all areas of society. So while the Make in India is the first major step, you'll see him follow through with skill in India, healthcare in India, startup India. He will basically transform the whole country. And this will be where all the jobs of the future are, when every country, every company, every citizen becomes digital. So this plays right into what Cisco's sweet spot is. And in my additional role as the new chairman of the USIBC, this is where our countries work together, from business groups and governments together. So I couldn't be more excited about what this means to the future, not just of India, but to the U.S. and India together and of the world. Our business, as we announced, and Chuck Robbins did a great job on our quarterly announcement, India grew 23% last quarter, grew 40% the quarter before that.
Talking about manufacturing, cheap imports is something that has really hurt the country and in many sectors, including manufacturing. Do you think something like MIP for steel, for instance, will be a big breather?
I think, I don't know the details of steel, but I think it's very appropriate because if you have countries like China who are in a sense dumping into your country, all the developed economies are very prolific and fast in putting up some sort of anti-dumping or safeguard duty. So I don't see why we should do the same.
The budget has run the corner and the debate's really been sparked by the fiscal divide, whether the government at this point should stick to its fiscal deficit target or go for a higher public spending. Which side of the argument would you be on?
I would think that the quality of deficit is more important at this point in time, and you need quality infrastructure to get the economy going. And I think whilst it would be, I'm sure, a fine balance for the finance minister, I would err on the side of fiscal prudence, but focusing more on the quality of the deficit.
Just one last question for the Birla Group. How are you participating in Make in India? What are kind of investments that you're making?
So we've just come off in the last year of a huge investment program across our businesses of about $7 billion. And I think the next 2 years we would wait to consolidate and see the returns come out of those. But we remain committed to India and Make in India. I think we understand the country well, and I'm very, very hopeful of this government doing things to make in India a much more seamless and a much faster process.
Make in India, we are very excited. The kind of thing has been organized. We are signing the MOU, which is a very prestigious. India has never made the panel fab. You know, it's a high time. We have $100 billion import of electronics. Everywhere you see made in China, everything. I'm looking forward made in India. So this is the project we are bringing in. It's about $10 billion investment, and which will make the glass. You know, the major component in electronics. You see the TV, the glass, and the cell phone, and the computer. All is the glass, and this is the component. We are signing the MOU to establish this unit in Maharashtra.
It's a $10 billion investment, sir. Across how many years will this be spread, and is this expandable further in terms of capability?
Yeah, this will meet the requirement of India. This will meet the requirement of India. This will be very highly technical. It requires a lot of coordination. This project comes, thousands of downstream industry will come. That's how I'm looking. And that's what India needs today. And that's how I'm looking. The electronic has to be trigger ki baat hoji. So this is what is going to be.
As far as ITC is concerned, in terms of investment, what are you planning for the coming year?
Oh, we already have a huge plan. We have a number of projects that are on the anvil. If you see what we are planning right away and into the future, there are about 60 projects. But what is already going on is about 20 projects.
Right.
With an outlay of 25,000 crores.
Right, and going ahead, how do you expect this to shape up in terms of demand? Because we've seen demand sort of muted in the whole FMCG space as well. When do you see this picking up?
Well, we are all hoping that once this OROP expenditure takes place and when the pay commission money goes out into the hands of the consumer and when money goes into the rural hands, MNREGA, then consumer demand will pick up. We believe that to getting the investment cycle going, the first important thing is to get the consumption demand up.
In Maharashtra, we will expand the airports, and there are so many airports have to come up.
In Maharashtra, how many new...
You see, the Chief Minister said they are going to acquire the land and build a new airport.
You will be looking...
Navi Bombay.
And you will be looking at bidding for the Pune...
We have a first right of refusal. We are going all over the world and we are giving the partnership to others.
Kalyani Motors has a partnership with Volvo. Is this what you will be showcasing at this Make in India Summit?
No, I mean, our relationship with Volvo is more as a supplier, the global supplier to Volvo globally. We supply them in India, we supply them in Sweden, in North America, in Asia. So we have a large supply partnership with Volvo.
So any specific target in your mind that you would like to share?
No, I don't. I mean, you know, in today's world has become highly volatile. So it's difficult to put numbers. It was easier to do that 5-10 years ago when life was a lot simpler. But let's just say that, you know, everybody likes to look at new opportunities, new technologies, because even technology is changing at a very rapid pace. You got this whole fourth industrial revolution coming, a lot of digital manufacturing going on. So we are getting into all these spaces, and hopefully this will provide us new opportunities.
I think we need these kind of initiatives for our country to grow. We have a great possibilities and great opportunity.
What is your Make in India plan? How is it going to pan out?
Well, we are working on to grow our steel business, increase this capacity in steel, building ports, increasing our capacity in power sector. So all these sectors we are growing.
Investment that you've planned?
I won't be able to give you any numbers right now, but we are looking at various sectors, all as I mentioned, and we are growing those sectors. India has a lot of potential, but we've always remained a little bit below the potential. So I hope with these kind of initiatives we can cross that barrier.
What policies are you expecting that would perhaps help or boost manufacturing in the country?
Ease of doing business, which government is already working on to make it easy, and yeah, I think there are a number of things which government is working on, and I won't be able to elaborate right now.
But will the budget open something up?
I think so. I hope so.
What is the kind of demands in environment for Suzlon? You've been in India and you also look at exports as well. How is demand looking for India? Are you getting orders from India?
I think India renewable energy market is growing almost by the 30% growth. So that is a very good is there. Last financial year, India has done 2,300 megawatt of the wind projects. This year we are expecting 3,200 megawatt. So it's a quite 30% growth. Suzlon will grow more than market growth. And currently we have almost 1,200 megawatt is order book is there, and nearly 1,000 megawatts order under the pipelines for discussion and negotiation in a different stage. We are expanding the 3 new manufacturing facility, one in the Andhra Pradesh, one is Rajasthan, and one is Madhya Pradesh.
How much you are investing?
We are almost investing 150 crore rupees in these 3 production facilities, and we are increasing our manufacturing base up to the 4,000 megawatt level. So it's a quite good sufficient. We have a capability because we have reduced our export part and we have increased our domestic part.
we do spend a fairly significant amount of money on capital investments. We will be having one of our big facilities at Nanjangud, which manufactures coffee, going through quite an important investment. We investing anywhere between 250 to 300 crores of rupees every year behind different investments, and that's really what we'll be focusing on.
Right, last year has been quite tough for Nestle, especially on the Maggi noodles front. Keeping that in mind, how do you see challenges panning out in the whole manufacturing arena?
Sure. Look, I think the Maggi saga that we went through. I think you have seen in our recent results, there has been clearly an adverse impact that has been made. The challenge would still be for us, not only to leverage the opportunity for Maggi, and I think here the market response has truly been very humbling for us.
Patanjali is also another brand that we're seeing increasing competition across various categories.
Firstly, I want to say very clearly that I respect every competitor. Whether it is Patanjali, whether it is ITC, or whether it is any other player in the market, I respect all of them because each of them brings a certain proposition, a certain perspective, a certain aggression, and a certain dynamism to the market.
What do you think is ailing manufacturing in the country? Any challenges that you're facing on the manufacturing front?
In Hindustan Unilever has been on the Make in India journey for several years. We manufacture, we have over 30 factories dotted around the landscape of the country. We manufacture nearly 98-99% of the products.
And for HUL, what's the kind of investment that you're going to pump in for towards the Make in India initiative? Anything that you've planned for this year?
Oh, we have constantly been upgrading our facilities, modernizing them, bringing in latest technology.
And sir, rural demand, I just wanted your view on that. Do you see green shoots of recovery in rural demand?
See, it's early days. Yeah, it will take time before we see rural demand again getting back to the kind of pace we have seen in the past. But from a medium to long-term basis, I'm very bullish about India. I'm a perennial optimist.
There you have it. All top corporates of India Inc. speak only to CNBC TV 18 at the Make in India week. We'll take a very short break on that note. Stay tuned. Lots of action lined up for you on the other side.